Hey everybody! So today I thought I'd take a little break from my wardrobe videos because I am visiting my boyfriend and so I do not have my wardrobe with me. So I thought I would talk instead about Lolita and the general public. People's reactions to Lolita fashion that I've experienced, and I'm sure that's pretty similar to what others have experienced, and a little bit about how to deal with that sort of thing. When you're first starting out wearing Lolita, it can be pretty awkward, especially if you're not used to wearing alternative fashion. And over time, that will get a lot better, especially if you have the support of your friends and family and, you know, just general confidence in yourself. So, I'm going to start out with staring, because staring, I find, is the most common and just standard reaction is staring. It's the sort of thing that staring, I think, definitely gets a lot easier with time. The first time I wore Lolita in public, I was really aware of people staring at me, and now I just don't even notice, really, unless they're really, like, super obvious about it, which sometimes happens. I've had people do legitimate, like, giant cartoon-style double takes, and that's pretty noticeable, but also pretty funny. So, that happens sometimes, but a lot of it's just, you know, people staring from afar. And it's not necessarily a bad thing, is something that you should probably keep in mind. It's easy to assume that everyone who's staring at you thinks you're crazy and hates the way you dress. But I think a lot of the time it's mostly curiosity and sometimes even genuine interest. So just ignore it and think about the fact that most of them probably don't really care how you dress. They're just curious. Another really common response is name calling, and again, not all name calling is meant in a rude way. Sometimes it is just someone's automatic reaction in comparison to something they know. So, like, sometimes it's just they look at you, they think of a character or something like that, and they just tell you about it. So I think names are pretty standard. I've gotten some weird ones, but I think that the standard ones that pretty much any Lolita will get are Alice in Wonderland, which, you know, makes more sense than a lot of these. Strawberry Shortcake, let's see, Little Bo Peep, Little Red Riding Hood, and Mary Poppins. And the Mary Poppins drives me nuts because I get that a lot. Actually, in college, I was really tempted to start carrying around a picture of Mary Poppins because I'm pretty sure anyone past the age of 10 just completely forgets what Mary Poppins looks like. I really do not understand that correlation. Sometimes it would be if I had my parasol with me, and that kind of makes sense to me, but sometimes I was, like, just out and about in Lolita, and people would be like, Mary Poppins, and I'd be like, okay, because there's like, no connection there. I really don't understand that. So, names can be dealt with in a couple of ways. If someone, like, shouts a name at me and clearly means it in, like, a rude way, I normally just ignore them. But if someone says a name and either you can't tell what they're trying to mean by it or they clearly don't really mean it in a rude way, I mostly just smile and nod. You know, it's the easiest way to deal with it. Let's see, from there we will go to questions. I do get quite a lot of questions, both good and kind of awkward. The most common ones are, I think, where are you going, or what are you doing, and are you in a play? And for anyone who knows anything about theater, that last question is the dumbest thing I have ever heard. Just the the assumption that a costume designer for a play would let you, like, wander around outside in your costumes, like, go shopping and stuff, like, what? Who would do that? But, you know, most of the time I try to answer those sorts of things, as honestly as possible. If I'm going out to dinner, I'll say I'm going out to dinner, or, you know, I'm going to visit friends, or something like that. If I'm not actually doing anything, if I'm just, like, you know, out shopping, or window shopping, or something, I'll normally just say, you know, no, just like this. And we're down to comments, and comments can be really, really sweet, or pretty mean. I'm gonna start with the nice comments. So I get, I think, my most nice comments from little girls and elderly women. And little girls normally give you, you know, you look like a princess, or you look really pretty, or I like your dress, sort of thing. Which is really cute. And elderly ladies just love to tell me how happy they are to see a girl wearing things that are traditionally feminine, or, you know, wearing skirts. Or a lot of times they tell me, you know, I used to wear dresses like that when I was your age. Like, it's very, very cute, and I really like those comments. And you know, I do get generally nice comments from people my own age, or, you know, middle-aged people, or whatever, just a range of people. But I find those two groups give me the most friendly comments. Recently, actually, I ran into a girl who knew what the fashion was, so that was nice. That happens rarely. I probably have it happen maybe a dozen times. Outside of, like, you know, conventions. I'll recognize it at conventions. But that's really nice when they recognize it, and, you know, they'll ask you questions about where your outfit's from, or, you know, if you're involved in the local community and that sort of thing. So that's really nice. I really like it when that happens. One of the cashiers at Joann's was talking to me about Lolita, so that was really cool. And sometimes they'll, you know, people just be like, I like your socks, or I like your dress, and that's nice too. There are bad comments, and it really sucks that there are bad comments, and, you know, most of the time it's just from ignorant people with low self-esteem who feel the need to yell random things at strangers in the street whose outfits they don't like. Which is so ridiculous to me. Like, how sad do you have to be to yell at people in the street? I don't understand it. And for the most part, you should probably ignore them. I will admit that I don't always do that. Sometimes I will respond in kind. But, you know, people are just dumb sometimes, and you just need to build up kind of a thick skin, I guess, when wearing Lolita, or take some measures to prevent that sort of thing, which is sad, because that shouldn't be the way things are. But I do find that I get less rude comments when I am with groups of people, especially my large guy friends. I get less things yelled at me in the streets, many, many, many less catcalls or whistles. If I'm with my friend Neil, who's a giant Viking-looking man. And, you know, also just don't go anywhere you wouldn't feel safe. Especially not alone. So, yes. Oh, last thing. This is my biggest pet peeve in the world. People taking pictures of you without your permission. Yeah, that happens. That happens more so, I find, now that camera phones are kind of, you know, everywhere. Everyone has a camera on their phone. And so I cannot tell you how many people I have caught taking a picture of me without asking. And I really do not mind if you come up to me and you're like, can I take a picture of you? I don't even care if you're taking that picture of me to, like, show your friends and be like, look at this crazy girl. I don't care. I just rather you ask me so you don't get some crazy candid of me, like, walking along, or eating something and making a funny face, or something like that. Because I just think that's the rudest thing you can do. I would rather have someone yell at me in the street than take my picture without my permission. And it happens a lot. And sometimes I catch them, and I'm sure sometimes I don't. I think my craziest taking a picture of me story happened when I held a meetup on my college campus a while ago, and it was alumni day, and I think it was parents' weekend. I don't know. There was like a lot of stuff going on around campus, and I was standing at an intersection so that I would be noticeable to people who had parked and were walking towards, we were having a picnic, but the park is a little set back from the road, so I was standing at the intersection waiting for people, and this middle-aged couple who's probably somebody's parents pulled over at the intersection, like pulled off the road, and I walked towards them because I assumed that they were going to be asking for directions because you know, there's a lot of stuff going on that day, so I assumed they were lost. Our campus is kind of weird to get around, and I got up to a couple of feet from the car, and I realized that there's a lady driving and a guy sitting next to her in the passenger seat. The lady who was driving had pulled over the car, taken out her camera, was leaning over the guy in the passenger seat to take a picture of me without asking. And I was just like, did that just happen? And then they just kind of smiled at me and drove away, and I was like, what? What just happened here? That was the strangest thing I think that has ever happened to me in Lolita. Just pulling over your car to take a picture of me. So strange. But you know, it does happen. Normally I just tell people, you know, like, please don't take a picture of me without asking if I have a chance, you know, if they're not going to drive off first. But, you know, it's the sort of thing that you just have to deal with, on a case-by-case basis. I have had people be really, really rude to me, even after I've asked them to please stop taking pictures. And I have had people just be like, oh, okay, well, can I take your picture? And that's fine. But yeah, I guess that covers just about all of the reactions. Tell me some funny stories. Have you guys had any really strange encounters with strangers? Or, you know, if you have questions about how to handle a situation or, you know, what to say to people, feel free to ask and I will do the best I can to help you out. Okay, bye guys!